Hello, I'm Jordan. I have been tagged. I was tagged by Tom at LA Books. This is the A to J tag, and it was created by Jim of Jim's Books Reading and Stuff. So I'll get right into it. The first prompt is A is for author. Which author have you read the most books by? Um, if we're counting plays, I think it would be Shakespeare. That's that's 30 something plays. But if we don't count plays, I think it would probably be Stephen King, most likely. He's certainly the writer I've been reading for the longest. Prompt number two is B is for Black History Month. What are you reading for Black History Month? Unfortunately, I don't have anything actually planned. Um, for a while, I've been wanting to reread Beloved by Toni Morrison, which is one of my favorite books. So maybe this is the time to do that. This might be a good reminder for that. Prompt number three is C. What are you currently reading? I am trying something new. I'm reading two books at once, which is not something I generally do. I'm reading The Fairy Queen by Edmund Spencer, and I'm reading a biography of the Fairy Queen herself, Elizabeth I, by Anne Somerset. I'm really enjoying them both, but I'm having a hard time getting a hang of reading more than one book at once. I mean, often I'll read an essay or some short stories or poetry while I'm reading something else, but I almost never read two, you know, full length works at the same time. But it seems to me, since I've been watching BookTube, that most other readers do. So I guess what is the secret? If you guys want to tell me in the comments field, I would appreciate it because to me it always feels like I'm interrupting whatever book I'm reading in order to move on to the next one. So do you have a schedule? Do you read three or four chapters of one and then three or four chapters of another? Do you have a certain time of day that you read one and a certain time of day you read the other? Or is it not even that structured? Do you just kind of read whatever one you feel like reading? But in that case, how do you make sure that nothing falls by the wayside? Maybe I'm overthinking it, but as of right now, after I'm done with these, I don't think I'll continue to try to read more than one book at once. Problem number four is D. What is your drink of choice while reading? It depends on the time of day. If right when I get up, it's usually coffee. If I'm drinking in the evening, I'll have a beer or two, and then before bed, it's usually tea. Problem number five: ebook or physical? I ebook, I think, just because I have a space issue and I don't like having a lot of stuff anyway, and books take up so much space. I kind of made a promise to myself that if I buy books in the future, it's going to be strictly for ebook. Um, the only downside I think is, first of all, a book is enjoyable. It feels nice in the hand, a good book. But also, I don't like the idea of my book running out of batteries, which is not that it's ever happened to me, but it bugs me that I'm reliant on an outlet in order to read. But still, yeah, I'm going to say ebooks. Prompt number six is F, my favorite fictitious character. Um, the first thing that came to mind was Kathy Earnshaw from Wuthering Heights, but since I already spoke about Wuthering Heights in a previous prompt, I thought I'd go with a couple of my favorite Shakespearean characters. First of all, Antony, the Antony of Antony and Cleopatra, not Julius Caesar. I think this is a very unusual tragic hero for Shakespeare, and that usually his tragic heroes, they might become more eloquent or wise or insightful when misfortune strikes, but almost none of them become better people as a result of it. Antony, I think, does. He becomes magnanimous and forgiving, and it's kind of an outdated term, but noble. There's nobility to Antony in this play that I think is quite moving and unusual for Shakespeare. And the other character is Imogen from Cymbeline. This is my battered old copy of the late romances. Imogen is just the most lovable character I know of. Even it's accentuated by the fact that she's populated. The entire play is populated by people who are far inferior to her, which makes it quite funny. I actually think Cymbeline is Shakespeare's funniest play, in my opinion, despite the fact that it's not a comedy. So Imogen is just infinitely lovable. Prompt number seven is G is for Georgia. Do you know any famous Georgians? That's Georgia, the country, not the U.S. state. I'm sorry, I don't. I'll just steal the answer that I've been seeing going around BookTube, which is Stalin, Joseph Stalin. And to be honest, I didn't even know he was from Georgia until I saw BookTubers bring it up. Prompt number eight is H is for horror. Is there a book that really scared you? Yes, there is. It is the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series of books, written by Alvin Schwartz and illustrated by the great Stephen Gammell. These books, I was a pretty high-strung kid, and these books scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Pardon my language, but it was bad. Like, I seriously think I would not be the person I am today if I hadn't grown up with these books. That's how traumatized I was by them. But I love them. I mean, I think the stories are great, but obviously it's the illustrations that they're notorious for. And they are quite, even now, quite wonderfully grotesque and upsetting. But they're also just a good source of like folktales, I think, now, reading them now. But I mean, I'm a grown-ass man. I have no problem admitting that I do not sleep in the same room as these books. They go in my hallway bookshelf, not this one, which is in my bedroom. So yeah, love these books. Still scare the hell out of me. Prompt number 9 is, I don't know, Italy, India, Ireland, intelligent, whatever you like. I'm going to go with Iowa, just so I can talk about On Wings of Song by Thomas Disch, which is a fantastic sci-fi novel. It's set partly in Iowa and partly in New York City. And it's about roughly this form of technology wherein if you sing or if you hear music, it enables you to essentially have an out-of-body experience and inhabit what I think are called fairies. And it's all about the main character's kind of lifelong longing to achieve that. And it's pretty sad and also funny and satirical and weird. It's a very weird book. Highly recommend it. I feel like it's not particularly well known. So check it out if you haven't read it. And prompt number 10, the final prompt is J. What have you just finished? I just finished The Boundless Sea by David Abulafia, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, which is a massive history of the world's oceans. And I liked it in as much as if I happened to be interested in what he was talking about at the time, it was enjoyable. But he wrote, and it's understandable because it's such a massive topic, he wrote, it read a lot like as an encyclopedia. So there were long stretches that I thought were just stupefyingly dull. And I'm still pretty new to reading nonfiction, so that was discouraging. But I made it through it, and I am glad I read it. But yeah, I don't know if some of those nonfiction readers out there, how often do you have to fight through that kind of thing? Because in my experience, reading nonfiction has been a lot of fun, more fun than I expected. Like this biography of Elizabeth I has been like tremendous fun. So I think it largely just depends on the writer. Anyways, that is the prompt for the tag. So I'll tag a couple of people. I'll tag Jack over at the Rambling Raconteur, and I will tag Noah at Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. I don't think he's done this yet. And then I will tag Summer at Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats, which is probably my favorite channel name for a booktube channel. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good day.